喺 EP 第113集啦，有一位觀眾留言啦，佢就話啦，想知道究竟昆州奧運之後有乜嘢啦係去接住個經濟嘅趨勢。好多時候啦，奧運啦就好似一個朋友咁樣將架車嘅經濟嘅速度啦提升咗好快，但係當奧運完咗之後啦，就冇晒油咁樣停咗落嚟。可以啦，有一啲好靚嘅基建，但係背後嘅經濟結構啦，先至係最重要，令到整個州份嘅經濟繼續維持上升。睇完啦呢一個留言啦，其實我一直啦好想做一條片同大家講下昆士蘭州嘅經濟增長。我啦今集啦就花咗好多時間，邀請咗一個啦喺昆士蘭州啦去做咗20年以上嘅地產行業嘅資深行家，同大家一齊研究下啦，究竟昆士蘭布里斯班嘅政府點樣做緊一啲嘅準備，喺奧運之後仍然可以保持呢個地區嘅經濟繼續有持續嘅增長啦。而究竟2個星期嘅體育盛事，又係咪真係有能力將一個中小型嘅城市提升到國際級別大都會嘅水平呢？呢條片雖然長達40分鐘，但係你睇完呢條片之後，你就會對澳洲嘅經濟結構，又或者未來高科技產業嘅發展，有一個另外嘅睇法。而若果你正準備投資澳洲嘅資產，又或者移民留學，呢條影片嘅訊息絕對有機會改變你嘅未來。咁大家好啦，今日啦好高興啦，就請到我一位喺昆州啦做咗呢一個嘅地產行業超過10幾20年嘅一個朋友。咁佢係專注啦澳洲嘅數據嘅分析嘅。今日我就專登請咗你嚟咧，就講下究竟而家昆州啦、布里斯班啦，甚至成個澳洲啦，整個嘅樓市嘅大方向。Hello John, how are you today?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Yeah, first I would like to say thank you to you to spend your time to do an interview with me and then share your thoughts about the Australian property market.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. First, I know you have been working and living in Southeast Queensland for like almost 20 years. What's so special of this region compared with the other parts of the Australia?
Look, Southeast Queensland is such an amazing location. It's got, from the hinterland through to the beach, through to the city. It's the perfect climate. It's one that is, I think, going through some tremendous changes in an economy, but also, moving away from just being a lifestyle destination, which is, I think, historically what it's probably been known for.
Yeah.
And it's now becoming like a major centre. And I think if you think about like what's the differences, say, between say a Sydney and Melbourne, and obviously the capital cities on the East Coast, we've seen Brisbane, I think, since COVID really transform itself away from just being that, the lifestyle destination. We don't have the traffic of a Sydney, and we've got the accessibility unlike those areas.
Yeah.
And we might not have, say, I guess that, that upper like cultural thing that Melbourne's always had in the nightlife.
Yeah.
But now, since then, we've had tremendous change. I think that, for me, when I think of Southeast Queensland, I think it's about everything within 30 minutes, if you really think about it. And I think that's what's attracted people, is that we've created a new city with infrastructure that can work versus like say Sydney and Melbourne, which are quite older, and you have to then work that infrastructure around those older parts. So being a bit newer does make it a bit easier and a bit more accessible.
Yeah. We both realize that we have a heaps of interstate migration coming from Sydney, Melbourne, Victoria, the rest of Australia. So as a local people, what do you think it is so attractive here? What brings them here?
Yeah. Look, I think we've seen, we've since COVID, I think we've had over 500,000 people move.
Yeah.
Into Queensland, and a lot of that obviously has grown into Southeast Queensland. I think what's attracting them, well, it was still affordable. If you consider where Sydney is at the moment, we still have an affordable option. Like, yes, that's changed predominantly since COVID. And obviously we've overtaken Melbourne as a more expensive market. But I still think when you look at the lifestyle options that you can have and having that accessibility and price, I think people's bang for dollar here is a lot greater than what they're getting. we're seeing, we do have a retirement movement as well, which is, again, people moving from a Melbourne, particularly now in winter where it's colder.
Yeah.
I think people want to move towards a warmer climate.
Yeah.
And from an overseas perspective, I feel that we are now no longer just about tourism. We've got an economy. The economy here has grown. It was in excess of 200 billion, I think, just in 2024, and it's grown in 16%.
Yeah.
I think since COVID. So this economic movement is having tremendous change on employment opportunities. We're seeing a lot of companies now relocating themselves here, and that's bringing people. So to me, I think Southeast Queensland is no longer, the poor cousin. We are now an address.
Yes.
And that to me is the change of what's happened to our city.
Recently, I saw a lot of good news. A lot of international company like Amazon, they're trying to set their foot on Southeast Queensland, and even some AI company, so data company, they're trying to set the foot in this region. How do you see this changes?
Look, I think this has all got to do with accessibility. These companies still rely on really good infrastructure.
Yeah.
You need to have the land within close proximity to where people live.
Yeah.
Affordability of that land is really important, particularly when it costs you a lot.
Yeah.
For me, I think the biggest thing that we're seeing is, we're seeing a lot of new companies enter this market.
Yes.
There's some really good standouts. We know that the first quantum computer is getting built in Australia, and it's in Moreton Bay, which that is what is that? I think it was like a $1 billion investment that's happening in Moreton, which is 30 minutes north of the CBD.
Yeah.
So these sort of investments are game changing, and it shows that Brisbane and Southeast Queensland and the Gold Coast is, I think, maturing. And that maturity comes with, some changes. It's no longer the smaller, we've got a little bit more traffic, but that then becomes with more infrastructure and investment. So it's that pie formula that I talk about, when I present about that population and that infrastructure and employment investment all coming in, and it's now promoting it. So that, to me, the future for Southeast Queensland from that migration is probably going to continue because we are still got so many factors playing in one time now.
Yeah.
So it is no longer, it's actually a foundation, which is probably there, that's been set.
剛剛阿 John 就提到啦，全球首台商用嘅量子電腦將會落會於 Moreton Bay，由初創公司 PsiQuantum 研發，本身係由幾位澳洲科學家所創辦，總部係位於美國嘅矽谷。呢一個計劃係獲得澳洲聯邦政府同埋昆士蘭州政府合共注資9.4億澳元。PsiQuantum 喺最新2026年5月20號就公布選址於 Moreton Bay Central， 創造世界上第一台具備實用規模嘅量子電腦。預計將會帶動數以十億元計嘅深科技產業鏈嘅投資，創造接近400個極高薪嘅尖端科研同埋工程職位。大家千祈唔好以為啦 PsiQuantum 係一間蚊型公司嚟㗎，佢係獲得黃仁勳 NVIDIA 注資一間市值超過過百億澳元嘅獨角獸初創公司。若果以捉棋去比喻嘅話，傳統電腦每次只能諗一步棋，一個簡單嘅解決方法。如果捉棋有過千過萬嘅可能性嘅話，就要花好長嘅時間先至可以諗到最佳答案。但量子電腦每行一步棋，可以同一時間諗晒所有嘅解決方案，立即揾出問題嘅最佳答案。普通嘅電腦要用幾個星期、幾個月，甚至以年計解決問題嘅時間。量子電腦只需要極短片刻嘅時間就可以達到傳統電腦嘅功能。喺4月20號 EP114 3年後整個東南昆士蘭基建變天裏面，我就已經詳細同大家深入講解 Moreton Bay 嘅城市規劃同埋未來嘅發展潛力。只係過咗1個月左右，就迎嚟咗一單改變昆士蘭科技圈未來嘅新聞。
Queensland enters the quantum race.
3, 1, 2, 3, go!
The start of work in Petrie, Moreton Bay, the site where the world's most powerful computer will be built.
Will deliver the world's first fault-tolerant, utility-scale quantum computer.
It's as complex as it sounds. Quantum computers exist, but they're essentially useless. California-based company PsiQuantum is trying to change that. It's never been done before.
This mission is going to enable humanity to increase the knowledge of the world that we live in.
It won't replace our regular computers, but rather solve complex industry problems. It could help create new drugs or find new energy sources.
In fact, I think over time it'll create whole new industries that we really can't conceive of today.
Companies like Google are also competing to build a useful quantum computer, but PsiQuantum says it's the first to break ground.
I realized that all those you mentioned, those good news, good companies setting foot here, to me, it's about the government policy. Because I think they set a good direction for Southeast Queensland to go on, just like it build up the road and then so those companies coming to Olympic 2032, some people would expect that the boom will be over. So the price would go stagnate and then the property price will go decline. So what do you think about this argument?
Yeah, look, it's something that we've seen. Sydney is a great example of this, and other countries that have had an Olympics. I think the way that we've got to treat the Olympics, predominantly for Southeast Queensland, it's an accelerator. It's an accelerator of infrastructure. But people aren't moving here now because of Olympics in 2032. They're moving here now because we've got these employment opportunities. We have, again, a lifestyle that is very different to Sydney and Melbourne. That is an opportunity in itself. We need to build a lot of infrastructure that's actually not for the Olympics. And that to me is the thing that I would say is that if you sort of look at it now and go, yes, we've got to do a lot of investment for this Olympics for that period. And that's a great investment for the future of Southeast Queensland and actually Australia. I think after the Olympics, people say, is the market over? Well, I say this. I go, well, no, if you look at Sydney, after the Sydney 2000 Olympics, the market actually boomed again. And then it boomed 3 times after that. And we've got to remember, the residential market is not based on Olympics. The residential market is based on people.
Yes.
Australia is a growing country. We're a desirable country to live in. I don't think that's going to change. I think that's probably going to get stronger. I think Southeast Queensland is becoming a lot more of a international destination, more so than it used to be, particularly the Gold Coast. My prediction is that the Gold Coast, I think, could be either as close to or just below a Sydney house price in the next 10 years. If you think we are 40 minutes from there, Logan is sandwiched in between that. I think the future for Southeast Queensland on the east coast of Australia is a very different one to where people see it now. And that to me is the opportunity, is that Sydney has always been the most expensive real estate market. I think that the next 10 years for Brisbane is going to show a very different landscape and the Gold Coast. So that to me is the conversation in my head around the Olympics. That's an accelerator, but what's happening now is foundational. And that is probably the key I think element to look about this, and thinking that real estate is not based on one element. It's a longer term play.
除咗 PsiQuantum 嘅量子電腦之外，全球電商巨頭 Amazon 喺 Logan Greater Flagstone 亦都展開咗全新機械人智能物流中心嘅建設工程，總投資金額超過 7.5 億澳元，成為近年東南昆士蘭其中一項最具代表性嘅私人企業投資項目。呢個全新嘅物流中心位於 Greater Flagstone Logistic Estate， 佔地超過 14.1 萬平方米，相當於20個標準嘅足球場嘅大小。工程期間將會創造2000個建築嘅相關職位，正式投入運作之後將會提供超過1000個長期工作崗位。根據昆士蘭副州長嘅講法，經濟發展局僅用咗35個工作天就批准咗呢項規模龐大而且複雜嘅開發個案，創下咗 Amazon 喺澳洲同類項目中最快嘅審批紀錄。 Amazon 嘅選址往往唔係單一揾一塊平嘅土地，而係經過長時間嘅人口增長、交通網絡、勞動力供應同埋未來經濟規模嘅分析。今次 Amazon 以7.5億元壓住 Logan， 本身最主要嘅原因就唔係因為奧運，而係睇好東南昆士蘭未來經濟發展而落嘅大賭注。SiQuantum 嘅量子電腦將會喺 Moreton Bay 投資超過10億澳元，將會創造400個高科技嘅職位。至於 Amazon 喺 Logan 嘅物流園呢，就投資7.5億澳元，將會帶動1000個新嘅就業職位。至於全球最大嘅飛機製造商波音，亦都喺 Toowoomba 成立美國境外首個嘅組裝廠，專門生產 MQ-28 幽靈蝙蝠嘅無人機。預計未來會為昆州帶嚟10億澳元嘅進帳，創造100個高科技嘅製造業職位。至於德國防務巨頭 Rheinmetall， 亦都喺 Ipswich 嘅 Red Band 設立軍事車輛製作中心，負責執行價值52億澳元 LAN 400嘅合約，會為昆士蘭經濟注入10億澳元嘅創造，亦都會帶嚟650個長期嘅職位。至於喺黃金海岸嘅 Yatala， 世界級嘅片場影視園由美國頂級影視開發商 Shadowbox Studio 全資打造，投資高達4億澳元，預計2028年第一階段就會營運，將會提供超過3000個直接同埋間接嘅高薪技術職位。以上只係過去1-2年一啲高科技新產業嘅國際資本因為奧運而選擇喺東南昆士蘭嘅佈局。距離布里斯班嘅奧運仲有6年嘅時間，所有嘅大型基建項目只係啱啱開始上馬。我夠膽同所有觀眾保證，大家將會陸續聽到更多嘅國際資本、新科技企業唔選擇悉尼，唔選擇墨爾本，相反選擇東南昆士蘭，設立佢哋喺澳洲甚至整個南太平洋嘅新總部。每次拍關於奧運嘅影片啦，總有一啲觀眾會留言，擔心啦奧運啦會令到一個城市嘅債台高築啦，樓價嘅上升只係一啲短時間嘅炒作，長遠嘅經濟將會無以為繼。作為一個昆士蘭州工作同埋生活嘅居民，其實我一直啦好細心咁留意昆州政府為奧運所行嘅每一步棋。我嘅發現，政府並冇為咗點樣令到2個星期嘅體育盛事搞得有聲有色而大費周章。相反，無論係昆州嘅政府又或者地區政府，都希望借助奧運呢一個嘅加速器，無論係從城市規劃啦、生活方式啦、人口嘅流動，以至高科技新產業，點樣令到呢個地區、呢個城市跳上一個全新嘅維度。布里斯班係點樣從前嘅 Port Cusson 小埔村跳上一個世界級別嘅大都會城市，呢一個嘅進化過程就係我想講，大家看不見昆士蘭嘅未來。呢個頻道啦，係從城市觀察、生活文化到政治政策，帶你由零開始睇通睇透澳洲嘅房地產。呢度拒絕紙上談兵，所有影片都係由我一個人誠意製作。分享嘅內容全部嚟自我真實嘅交易個案同前線嘅工作經驗。記得訂閱同分享謝夫澳洲看房生活頻道，網路上只此一家。You just mentioned a lot about the Sydney as a comparable city to Brisbane or Gold Coast. What I realized that in the market, people see the discrepancy between the medium house price of Sydney and the medium house price of Brisbane. They are not have too much big gap nowadays because we are catching up. But however, when we look inside those data, for the same, like we're talking about like 20 minutes from the CBD, the same land size and the build size of property, actually we are still far behind of Sydney if we're talking about the same thing, same property. How much do you think we could catch Sydney?
Well, look, I think in the inner city locations, Sydney is a very, it is a very constrained market like Brisbane.
Yeah.
Fundamentally, has the same challenges. It has mountains to the west, water to the east,
Yes.
and it's kind of landlocked between its infrastructure, which pretty much runs north and south,
Yeah.
and obviously east and west. So we have similar challenges. The most expensive land, as we all know, is where you can't deliver more of it. So, the inner city locations of Sydney are desirable because obviously, yes, you can get to work easier. It's got a lot more amenity, things like that. We're still quite behind Sydney if you take that radius. It's a
Yes.
very different market. I think Brisbane will catch up, but I think at the same time, it's probably going to be lagging, I think, the Sydney market. Where I think the opportunity is on coastal areas where the price will really jump. And, I think in Sydney and in Brisbane, these coastal markets are just becoming ever more desirable. And people really want to live there. A lot of people overseas, as we've seen, a lot of famous people living now
Yeah.
in Australia want to be in these spaces.
Yeah.
So I think that's where there's a tremendous probably closing of the gap.
Yeah.
Brisbane itself, for me though, is and look, we are considerably supply constrained,
Yeah.
both cities. I think that the price for these two cities is going to work very closely. The one thing is that Brisbane, Southeast Queensland, I think can supply itself a little bit greater than a Sydney, and that will bring affordability. So that to me is a good opportunity for people who might look at moving from Sydney still to Brisbane and still being within an hour to the city,
Yeah.
or 40 minutes,
Yeah.
which is still a pretty good opportunity.
You just mentioned about the supply constraints. I think it's happening in all the city in Australia.
Yep.
Can you describe what is the picture about the supply in the Southeast Queensland nowadays?
Yeah, it's dire. It is a real problem.
Yeah.
This was caused pre-COVID.
Yeah.
We were already in this position coming into COVID.
Yeah.
The challenge has always been, in particularly Southeast Queensland, is a very fragmented ownership of land, which means that to do anything quite large of scale involves a lot of people, which makes it hard to sort of accumulate the sites. Environmentally, we've got a lot of constraints, and geographically, we've got a lot of constraints. So that's obviously the natural side of it. And then when you then apply the infrastructure side of it,
Yes.
it is so expensive to do anything in Australia, as we
Yeah.
know. The rest of the world can build a high-speed rail. It can do a sewage plant. It can build water.
Everything in 1 year in China.
Everything exactly. And this is what's limiting us.
Yeah.
It's really hard to build out
Yeah.
when we don't have power and you don't have water.
Yeah.
And then you got to talk about schools and hospitals and things like this. So it's very slow going. The other component is that we have changed the dynamic of what we're building now. So we used to have a high apartment market that could supply and provide affordable options to people, like with 1 and 2 bedroom apartments. That apartment market now, because of the construction industry being so hard, is almost constrained to a luxury market.
Yes.
So that makes it very hard to supply ourselves. So yeah, we're in a really big problem, and government and the state government is very proactive on this. The new state government of Queensland, I think, is probably the best government we've had in a long
Yes,
time.
I agree.
And they are really focused on this and working with the private, development community. I think they're unlocking a lot more than what the federal are probably doing, which is really good. But it's still a long way to go. We've got to do a lot more.
Yeah. I sometimes I show my client different new suburb. They said that the land supply is huge there, but actually they don't realize that we don't have a lot of apartment supply in the Brisbane market, because that's what you say, it's all become luxury housing. So to me is that or even for the new greenfield area, it looks huge, but actually the housing supply is not that much. Yeah. So what I found is that it is very interesting to the market knows that we actually, even we have land, it doesn't mean that we have enough supply.
Absolutely.
Housing in the market. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, you're 100% right. Like, the perception is that we have all this land available and that we can just develop it. The challenge is really the hardest is actually one is developing and acquiring the land, but then the other is actually powering it
Yeah.
and getting water to it.
Yeah.
And so, that limits your ability. So, we don't want people obviously getting a house and then you can't turn the tap on.
Yeah.
And that is the grid.
Yeah.
So we know that there's availability of land, but then the problem is getting the infrastructure to connect to that land.
Yes.
And that is the real slow bit
Yeah.
as part of it. So, look, we it is something that I think has to be addressed. Will it get addressed soon? Everything moves very slowly in Australia, as we all know politically. And so that does have challenges. And so I think the future, unfortunately, like everyone asked me, what's the silver bullet here? There is none. There is nothing.
Yeah.
I can't see how, with the current structure that we have, that we're going to fix this problem, particularly if people keep moving here.
Yeah.
You've got to really fathom this, is that having 500,000 people move into an area in a very short period is going to have tremendous challenges.
Yeah.
Not just on housing, on everything. And that's what Southeast Queensland's going through right now.
But I think it's lucky that in Southeast Queensland, in this region, we only not get one city. We have like Sunshine Coast, we have Gold Coast, we have Toowoomba, we have Brisbane. We have like 4 different cities, but we are sitting quite close together. So I think what the Southeast Queensland government, they're doing quite well is that they try to connect the city together and then make those people who are living in between also can enjoy different cities and also all those support in infrastructure and amenities. So I think that so far as what you say, I think the state government is doing quite good job. Yeah. 我啦個人非常認同阿 John 講啦，昆士蘭啦呢一屆嘅州政府係過往幾屆裏面做得最好嘅一屆。而如果啦同澳洲其他州嘅政府相比，現任嘅昆州政府啦，亦都可以話係澳洲境內啦裡面嘅高材生嚟㗎。我哋咧大家一齊睇下啦，昆州裡面嘅成績表現。呢一個啦係澳洲3大州核心經濟同埋財政嘅比較，所有嘅數據係嚟自澳洲統計局 ABS 嘅官方核算。喺2024年到2025年嘅 GSP， 即係 Gross State Product， 即係州內嘅生產總值啦。新南威爾士州啦嘅經濟總值就達到8291億澳元，至於維多利亞州啦就有6154億澳元，至於昆士蘭州就最少啦，只有5238億澳元。但係如果你將人口納入去計算嘅話，你就會睇到完全另外一個嘅畫面。GSP per capita 即係人均嘅生產總值，3個州分別係96,479蚊、86,990蚊同埋92,392蚊。如果你將昆州嘅人均生產總值同新州去相比嘅話，其實只係相差 4.3%， 可以話係非常接近嘅人均生產總值。再睇下由2023年去到2025年兩個財政年度經濟增長率裡面嘅比較，新南威爾士州分別係 1.2% 同埋 0.9%， 至於維多利亞州分別係 1.5% 同埋 1.1%， 至於昆士蘭州就係 2.1% 同 2.2%。如果3大州去比較嘅話，昆士蘭係唯一一個州連續2年達到 2% 以上嘅增長率，而24年到25年年度嘅增長率，新南威爾士州同維多利亞州都分別開始出現疲弱嘅跡象嘅時候，昆士蘭州反而繼續增長。如果只係睇2024年到2025年嘅實際增長嘅話，昆士蘭州嘅增長率對比起新南威爾士同埋維多利亞州都已經有1倍以上嘅增長。只係睇經濟產出啦，未必真正睇到一個州嘅經濟實力，因為有部分嘅經濟規模係可以由舉債借錢借返嚟。以24年到25年嘅財政年度，新南威爾士州嘅負債達到1660億澳元，係3個州裡面最多嘅。人均嘅負債水平大概係19,400蚊澳元。至於維多利亞州啦，淨負債就達到1560億澳元， 雖然呢就冇新南威爾士州多，但係人均嘅負債就達到22,250蚊澳元。相反，昆士蘭州嘅總負債為771億澳元，人均只有13,700蚊。維多利亞州近年樓價停滯不前，除咗因為政府政策之外就係經濟同埋負債拖垮咗樓市。其實3個因素喺維州亦都形成咗一個惡性循環。相反，昆士蘭州就係一個正面嘅教材。雖然經濟嘅規模並唔係最大，但係人均嘅生產總值就確實唔細。更加重要就係賺得多之餘，借錢亦都借得少。所以位於昆士蘭州嘅房產先至有不停上升嘅動力。以上嘅數據正好話俾全世界聽，澳洲正在有一個新城市以驚人嘅速度發展，唔止已經追過咗國際大都會墨爾本，亦都逐漸逼近澳洲嘅老大哥悉尼。好多人第一次嚟到昆士蘭嘅首府布里斯班都會有一個錯覺，覺得布里斯班嘅 CBD 市中心對比起悉尼同埋墨爾本會覺得細好多，就用 CBD 嘅規模就認為布里斯班只係一個小城市。過往悉尼同墨爾本嘅成長主要因為夠集中，城市規模夠大，吸引夠多嘅資金集中湧入某一個嘅地區。相反，未來嘅布里斯班同埋東南昆士蘭嘅成長就走咗另外一個嘅極端。我哋唔講有幾大，但係我哋講有幾廣有幾闊。無論喺地理上、環境上或者喺經濟上，我哋都有唔同嘅多元化發展。就好似剛剛提及唔同嘅國際資金陸續喺東南昆士蘭插旗，並唔係集中喺一個區域，相反係整個東南昆士蘭同步發展。城市之間嘅協同效應可以做到齊上齊落、互利互補。作為一個物業投資者，我相信好多人都會以一個買大細嘅心態，希望布里斯班可以複製2000年悉尼奧運嘅樓市奇蹟。但係作為喺呢一度每日工作、每日生活嘅昆士蘭人，我睇到嘅係一個同悉尼完全不同嘅城市願景。我哋並冇複製傳統金融業嘅角色，亦都冇喺市中心又或者附近嘅地區興建大量嘅高樓大廈又或者寫字樓。相反無論係政府又或者本地嘅居民，都嘗試因住呢個地區嘅地理啦、環境啦、天氣啦、生活同埋習性，去建構一個澳洲從來未有過嘅城市未來。過去悉尼同墨爾本係澳洲唯二兩個主要嘅就業市場，亦都係大部分海外移民移居悉尼、墨爾本嘅主要原因。但係未來或者而家其實澳洲嘅就業市場就已經靜悄悄徹底咁改變。世界最大嘅會計師同埋調研公司 KPMG 喺2026年2月份發表咗一篇嘅文章，大致標題咁樣寫：有1/5全個澳洲新增嘅工作崗位出現喺東南昆士蘭，明顯拋離全澳洲其他嘅地區。呢篇嘅文章可以話係句句都係重點，句句都係金句。SEQ 東南昆士蘭正迅速成為重要嘅就業目的地，尋求優質機會的高技能專業人員，推動了新增就業機會嘅增長。澳洲統計局 ABS 最新嘅數據分析顯示，東南昆士蘭喺就業嘅增長方面顯著優於全國其他地區。過去5年創造了超過31.2萬個新工作崗位，佔全國新增就業崗位總數嘅20% 以上。呢個地區嘅就業人數亦都以3.3% 嘅年增長率大幅拋離2.1% 嘅全國平均水平。KPMG 都市經濟學家 Terry Walmsley 就講啦，東南昆士蘭已經成為充滿機遇嘅地區。如今大大小小嘅企業都意識到喺東南昆士蘭設址係大有裨益。呢個唔只係從生活方式嘅角度去睇，佢哋仲發現呢度具有一個強大嘅經濟意義。隨住布里斯班同埋整個嘅地區準備舉辦2032年嘅奧運會，呢一股嘅就業熱潮 預計將會一直持續到本年代末。到2030年將會再創造27.5萬個新嘅就業崗位。27萬5千嘅新增工作崗位喺概念上對觀眾嚟講可能係非常之模糊，但係以澳洲統計局一個嘅工作崗位背後家庭平均人數2.5人去計算嘅話，亦即係話去到2030年嘅時候，因為新增嘅工作崗位帶嚟嘅新增長人口將會達到68萬7500人。68萬7500人係一個乜嘢概念呢？喺2026年，整個嘅黃金海岸嘅人口為69萬1000人，即係話去到2030年，東南昆士蘭呢一個嘅地區將會多咗一整個黃金海岸嘅人口。而更加重要，大家千祈唔好以為呢啲新增嘅工作崗位係一啲低技術嘅員工。我哋翻去文章嘅下半部，東南昆士蘭嘅就業熱潮好大程度上係由專業人士推動，佢哋利用咗一系列行業中需要嘅高技能而且薪酬豐厚嘅工作機會。專業人員嘅總數已經從2020年嘅43萬增加到2025年嘅54萬5千。專業人才嘅增加表明，東南昆士蘭正從一個充滿活力嘅區域參與者，逐漸變成一個成熟嘅地區，並且步入全球嘅舞台。企業正增加員工嘅人數，並吸引那些傳統上更傾向於去悉尼或者墨爾本嘅高技能專業人才。KPMG 呢篇文章正好完全呼應咗影片前半段同大家分享全球第一部嘅量子電腦同埋各類嘅高科技國際公司陸續選擇東南昆士蘭作為澳洲嘅未來新科技嘅目的地。呢篇嘅文章非常之重要，我歡迎所有喺布里斯班、黃金海岸又或者東南昆士蘭居住嘅所有觀眾留一個簡單嘅 icon， 又或者加一句想知道，我就會將 KPMG 呢篇文章同埋其他新科技嘅新聞喺留言裏面回覆你，你就會知道我哋嘅東南昆士蘭，你住緊嘅城市將來係靠乜嘢去食糊。而如果大家想收到一啲獨家搶先認購嘅東南昆士蘭樓盤信息嘅話，你可以加入姐夫 VIP WhatsApp 嘅通知清單，你只需要用 WhatsApp 去聯絡我就可以。但係要收到我發出嘅信息，大家要記住將我嘅手機號碼儲存喺你嘅電話裏面，你先會收到我喺 WhatsApp 裏面廣播嘅信息。So, last questions. If you have $1 million investment dollar, what kind of the factor you would buy the investment property nowadays?
Yeah, really good question. For me, it's still land. And I really do believe in the land story within Southeast Queensland because it is so supply constrained.
Yeah.
So ultimately, it would start with a land opportunity. It would be a new house, obviously now, particularly with the new tax changes.
Stupid tax.
But look, for me, the location, I'm a very big supporter of Logan. I think between Brisbane being positioned, and you mentioned how close we've got all these cities, I really enjoy, obviously Brisbane from a shortage of supply, but now $1 million doesn't get you a lot in Brisbane, so I'm probably out of that market. So for me, and the Gold Coast is very expensive as well.
Yeah.
So it leaves me really for $1 million, and to have it under $1 million would probably be like Logan, Ipswich and Moreton would probably be my opportunities.
Yeah.
I predominantly like, all markets have great opportunities in them. I like Logan because it's in between those two cities. You got Brisbane, Gold Coast, and they're becoming mega cities.
Yeah.
So it naturally for me it's kind of gets squished, between Brisbane and Gold Coast. Ipswich for me, Ipswich is really about, I think Ipswich is going through some tremendous opportunities from infrastructure. It is becoming a suburb of Brisbane almost in a way that the way that Brisbane is happening is obviously happening further southwest. Moreton is another area that I do like. I do think that the new city that they're doing between the sunny coast and Moreton, which is Warrabar, that's going to change that market for, for the good. And also this new quantum computer
Yes.
and that new CBD that they're building there at Petrie
Yeah.
with the Olympics. There's just so many. The thing is, there's so many to choose from.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, Brisbane's probably out because I can't buy it for $1 million.
Yes.
It would have to be those three.
Yeah.
If I had to put it, it'd probably be Logan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for your unique perspective today about the Southeast Queensland property market. Wish we will do more interview and share other thoughts with our audience later.
Yeah.
Thank you so much today.
No, thanks, Jeff. Thank you so much.
Thank you. 奧運啊，確實係讓一個城市俾全世界看見嘅一個契機，但係佢並唔係一個萬靈藥。奧運嘅 KPI 成功與否，最後都係要靠呢個地區、呢一個城市同埋呢度嘅人。就好似奧運所有獲獎嘅運動員一樣，需要天時同埋地利，但係更加重要嘅就係自己本身背後嘅努力同埋自身嘅實力。我哋下一集見。